Buffalo Bills owner Terry Pegula and Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. In 2020, Pegula allegedly told a reporter, and I quote, "If black players don't like it here, they should go back to Africa and see how bad it is." Trotter was interviewing Jones in 2020 with another reporter when Jones allegedly told them, quote, "If blacks feel some kind of way, they should buy their own team and hire who they want to hire." Much more to come on this story. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
Man, I feel like money. Man, I feel like money. They attracted to me. Oh, yeah. They come around like honey. They come around like honey. 'Cause I fly like a bee. Oh, yeah. Man, I got them all buzzing. Buzzing, 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 buzzing. Like, man, I got the world buzzing. Buzzing, buzzing, buzzing. Like, back to back up in the mix like that. And I know you like it when it's just like that. Harder girlies just love my swag. From my kicks to the way I fix my hat. I'm back. Fresh like some new J's. Brody got next, NBA 2K, I'm 2K. Shaded with some ladies, reppin' my city. West LA, baby. West LA made me this way. Two rules, stay fresh, homie, get paid. Hey, never broke and never bummy. I'm from where it's forever sunny. And I feel like, man, I feel like money. They attracted to me. Oh, yeah. They come around like honey. They come around like honey. 'Cause I fly like a bee. Oh, yeah. Man, I got them all buzzing. Buzzing, 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 buzzing. Like,
welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center Black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling Black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
It is, and I'm, as always, super excited to welcome in a Black-owned or BIPOC-owned small business, socially innovative business, all the things. Joining us this morning, the co-founder of something called At Their Side. It's a HIPAA-compliant 24/7 healthcare status platform that enables healthcare providers to communicate with families. She's got over 20 years of technology and engineering experience. She has a diverse work history, from working for a Big Four consulting and Fortune 500 companies to delivering technical solutions in the private sector and in the FBI. She also says she has a deep affection and reverence for her elders. Emily Woodman-Nance, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's just a pleasure to be here with you, Dominique. Thank you for allowing all of us to have this platform.
Well, absolutely. It's my pleasure to meet you. You got a lot of letters after your name: PMP, CPC, CSM, CEO. Want to break down those letters for us?
Okay. So the PMP is Project Management Professional. The CPC is a Certified Professional Coach. The CSM is a Certified Scrum Master. And CEO, I am the Chief Executive Officer of At Their Side.
And you know, it's interesting because it's just not the kind of thing we think about every day. And I think important things like healthcare and finance are often not sexy, right? So it might not be the first thing that comes up. Tell me how you came up with At Their Side and where you are with it now.
Well, At Their Side, when I think about At Their Side, it really goes back to my childhood, the love that I had for my grandparents and even my parents. And when I was 6 years old, I wrote about how one of the things I wanted to do is to take care of my parents. And that's what I did as they aged. I took care of them. And so it was just a natural affinity for me to actually get into healthcare, especially, you know, as my father had gotten ill. I quit my job. I took care of him. And then my mother-in-law ended up in a skilled nursing facility, and I'm like, you know what? There has to be a better way to get this information. And I'm like, I have experience delivering tech solutions, so why not create At Their Side? And that's how it actually got started.
So you took what you love and what you know and made it into a, well, you like to say side hustle, but really it's more like an empire. Talk to me about, you said there has to be an easier way to get this information. What is this information?
Like, information, some of the things you want to know, like she had diabetes, like what is her blood sugar? So you can get that information. It's like right at your fingertips. So you could have that every day. So you're not calling or asking, what is that? Or how much did she eat today? So you can get that information and have it at your fingertips. So that way the healthcare staff can really devote that time providing that care that you want them to for your loved one, instead of answering the phone and asking these questions that you could just have at your fingertips.
So it's an app where all of this kind of sort of almost like our fitness apps, which keep track of our steps and our this and our that. But it's all of more facts about our care.
Correct. It's about your care, and then they can also notify you, like say if there's a change of condition, they could do a push notification for that, or if their medication changed. So you get that information really quickly, because sometimes it could be delayed like 24 or 48 hours, which can really cause a dire situation.
Yeah, I know that's right. So this is something that would be used by families, is being used by families, but also the healthcare provider themselves, the in-home caregiver or hospital caregivers or whatever. Tell me how that works.
How it works is that the actual healthcare giver subscribes to the At Their Side service, and then the family member, as long as they have legal authority to have that that patient information, they get access to At Their Side, and they have all the information right at their fingertips.
So you say HIPAA compliant, meaning that your information is protected.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is protected. It is locked down. We make sure that that first of all, that the right person is receiving the information,
right?
And then we also the information is encrypted at rest while it's sitting there, and it's encrypted as it's being transmitted to the family member's device.
So this is just like a communication tool between caregivers and families, like you said, authorized family members. And, it's so ironic that we're having this conversation right now. My mom's husband, my stepdad, made his transition about 2 weeks ago. And that thing about knowing, well, okay, what's happening now? What's happening now? Where is what's their health status now? What's their medication changes now? It can drive decisions about, people coming home to see a loved one, or what is needed to care for them at every stage of their well-being.
Exactly, and it's definitely needed. It's needed now, and then just looking at the aging of America, there's like 73 million baby boomers, and since 2010, 10,000 a day have been turning 65, and 7 out of 10 will need some type of long-term care.
10,000 a day, yeah, I remember that from working with Soren Basic. A lot of people getting old around here every single day.
Right.
So, Emily Woodman-Nance, tell me, at their side, how would we access it? How would we buy this service and support your Black-owned business?
Okay, for all the healthcare providers out there, you need to subscribe to At Their Side, like for right now. So you can go to attheirside.com. And then for those of you who have loved ones that you're caring for in facilities, you need to let those facilities know you need At Their Side. So I need it from both ends. From the families and from the caregivers. Yes, because I would imagine that you have all different type of listeners out there. So,
absolutely,
yes,
we do, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So when we subscribe, we do that where? At the website?
The facility would actually contact me, and then we would contact At Their Side, and then we would work with the facility to get them up and going on At Their Side. And for a family member, we would go to the website? For the family member, once the facility has it up and going, then they would actually go to the facility would actually send invitations, let them know that At Their Side is available, and then they would create an account. All right. Well, it's a pleasure meeting you. How's it going? How's the business going? You know what? It's going. We're in some locations right now, and the guardians are happy. You know, the family members are happy, and the facilities are happy too, because they're not getting those calls every day for the same thing. And the family members are happy because they have peace of mind, and they have information readily available to make informed decisions. So it's a win-win-win. And the residents have a better quality of care and life. Well, Emily Woodman-Nance, it's a pleasure to meet you. Congratulations and the best of luck to you in this giant endeavor. And folks, attheirside.com is where you can go for more information. Thank you so much. This has been a Wealth Building Wednesday. Well, every Wednesday around here is a Wealth Building Wednesday. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Anyone can choose to make a difference. You can help people succeed, rebuild after disasters, protect the environment, or feed the hungry. Not only will you make a difference for others, but for yourself. You can earn money for college, learn career skills, and make friendships that last a lifetime. Make a difference. Choose your future. Choose AmeriCorps.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. This is your dentist. Do me a favor and feel the front of your teeth. How grimy are they? Ugh. It's time for a Crest Pro Health reality checkup. That grime is the buildup of plaque bacteria that can cause cavities in just months. You need to switch to Crest Pro Health. While most toothpaste stop working in minutes, Crest Pro Health's antibacterial fluoride protects for up to 12 hours to stop cavities before they start. So pick some up on the way home. Smile. Crest has you covered.
Your floors can go from clean to dirty fast. From juice spills, whoops, to muddy paw prints, to little sticky finger marks. Good thing your Swiffer WetJet works fast too. Swiffer WetJet easily cleans everyday messes as quick as they happen. The next mess is right around the corner. So grab your Swiffer WetJet and just spray, push, all clean.
Girl, I have a secret.
When I get stressed out, I get sweaty. That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It's like my own secret weapon. For 72 hours, I get Secret's strongest protection against sweat caused by stress, heat, and activity, because you know how crazy life can get. Plus, it's made with advanced odor fighters that don't just cover up smelliness. They help prevent it from happening in the first place. Believe me, if I weren't wearing Secret, I'd be a hot, smelly mess. Thankfully, Secret works.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
Today's episode of First Things First is brought to you by Wealth Management Financial Advisors. They've got tax services. You need them if you're a small business. Your deadline's Friday. If you're an individual, you got a little bit more time, even if you're a small a nonprofit, they can help you. Wealth Management Financial Advisors. Meet them online at wealthmanagementlb.com. That's wealthmanagementlb.com. Big day around here, big day around everywhere. It's the State of Black LA, the Los Angeles Urban League doing their thing today. And of course, you can join virtually. So many great panels. The mayor is meant to be there. Capri Maddox, of course, the director of LA Civil Rights. Yesterday's panelist, Kansa Jones-Muhammad, is yesterday's guest, is part of that, and so many other folks that you know. So that's a great thing happening. You just heard about Power Fest taking place this weekend. Busy times tomorrow. The Black Experience Study Live. This is an opportunity to find out about how to fill out that reparations form that we need to fill out if we're in the city of LA. Cities all over the country are doing this. You can go to bit.ly/rep4LA, or you can go to the blackexperiencela.com for more information, blackexperiencela.com. Getting back to Randy from Watts, always coming with the, institutional knowledge about South Central Los Angeles and those deep, deep roots, really reflective of a lot of the same struggles and the same strides that we're seeing in Black urban communities all across this country, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So talk to me, Randy. I know that you were about to break it down, but I wanted to make sure we, got to say goodbye to the Community Coalition folks.
Yes, and it very positive what Coco's doing, and like I said, it's been looking at this over the years. I see a lot of harmonious activity going on in my neighborhood. But some of the things that I see nationwide is a situation with these street takeovers. And our history, or my history at least, in involvement of such with National Hot Rod Association, other car clubs and whatnot. We had a positive meeting yesterday with the Los Angeles city supervisors, and Janice Hahn brought up the fact that the TI location, Terminal Island, still available or still empty. And so maybe we'll start negotiations on possibly having a spot for these individuals to do, such as we did for the last 30 years at Terminal Island Raceway, and get this street takeovers under control, and give a chance for some of these. I was at a street race. Yeah, illegal street race. Yeah, I go there, unfortunately. And I noticed, we had the last holiday, I think that was Labor Day. I counted over, I would say, 250 to 400 young people on mini bikes holding drag races down in Compton. I'm not going to mention the street, but I know everybody know what street it was. And they did it in such a professional manner. Nobody was injured. The sheriff department was watching it with a helicopter for 30 minutes, and they let it go untouched, and they had a ball. Families were there barbecuing on the side of the streets down there on Manville. And I mean, okay, and we're talking about all nationalities they're having a blast with mini bikes. These are the kind of operations that we want to see down at Terminal Island. Mini bikes. They want to do drifting and do their you know we're right now negotiating safety measures to where this will be done in a safe manner. We're making contact with the ambulance. Unfortunately, we will have a medical ambulance on site at all times, and vendors that want to come down, and we'll have a place again for our young people to gather legally and not be on the streets doing it.
Yeah, I love that you followed up on this, Randy, because we've talked about it. And street takeovers, you know, it does feel like a new thing, but to your point, that's because people have places to do it before. So maybe, you know, that they were street racing in ways that didn't involve regular folks that were just trying to drive from point A to point B. There's been a lot of alarmism, but also reporting about the injuries and even deaths from, you know, illegal street racing here. You had an officer injured allegedly last week in one of these things, a mass arrest, 30 people arrested in the Valley, 12 vehicles impounded. That was also last week, Friday night. And so, and, you know, same thing in Anaheim. There was a freeway takeover. I think it was last week also, over the weekend. Yeah. Where, you know, street takeover on the freeway in Anaheim. And then all of a sudden everyone scatters when law enforcement shows up. So this is, to your point, it's something that is going across regional lines, the South, the East, you know, the West, and across racial lines. And so it seems to me that you can criminalize it. That's part of it. But it seems to me the other piece of it has to be or should be providing a place where folks can do this stuff that is legal and safe. And because it's a way of expressing themselves, and it doesn't have to be something that endangers others.
Well, this is one of the things we look at this love affair that we have with the automobile goes back well over 100 years, and it's not going to go away because that's the way we are as human beings, and that's the way we are here as Americans.
Especially Southern California people. I mean, you know, let's call a spade a spade. LA is the ultimate car culture. Our public transportation is getting better, but it's been pretty sucky for a long time. And, you know, people drive around. They floss in their cars. They socialize in their vehicles. So there is an aspect to that which makes sense to just embrace it and find ways to make it safe and fun.
Well, this is nothing new to me because we started organized street racing. I did personally in 1964. I was like 14 years old. And at that time, we started our organization in conjunction with Los Angeles Police Department. Yeah. Everybody, they don't understand when you see those jackets, and these jackets are a thing of the past because we're not having that kind of concept now. But those jackets were supported by LAPD, a.k.a. Lieutenant Frank Beeson, a.k.a. Tom Bradley.
So two questions about that, Randy. Number one, I mean, right now, street racing has become so popular, and in some cases, I mean, it really is dangerous for the people that are not participating, right? People have actually died and been in accidents. Will people comply? Are people going to go where it's legal? Or are they just in the habit of taking over streets and they're just going to keep doing it?
Well, this is one of the things that we're looking at because even when we had the Terminal Island Raceway, we generally drew 1,500 to 2,000 people.
Wow!
But you got you had the hard heads that wanted to get out on the streets and do their thing, and that it didn't last because most of these guys, we've got these massive egos, and our policy, at least my policy, as being one of the main voices on the PA down there, everybody's a hero going down that 8th mile or quarter mile. So there we literally nipped in the rear end illegal street racing in Los Angeles as long as that track was open. But now we've got drifting, which can be done. It has to be done safely, and I've already looked at the aftermath of how it can be done with 2 people in the car.
Okay.
And mini bikes. And our regular 8th mile drag cars. So we would have a collage.
Right. Okay, but one more quick question. I mean, because you're going back to the 60s with this and talking about the LAPD involvement. Don't you think there are folks that would not participate today in today's environment if the LAPD was involved? Or is that, am I overstating the problem?
No, because the LAPD comes out and races with us. You don't know you get out there. If you look at any data that we've had, television data, when you're in a position of like racing, you don't know who you're racing with, and then you find out because I was in high school, and we would go to the drags, and I'll be doggone, a bunch of our teachers was out there running their cars, and then all of a sudden, is that Mr. Montoya over there? Oh my goodness, and then that next week at school, it's a whole different attitude. That same way with the police. Yeah, same way with the police department. Oh, I know that guy. I ran that guy. He's got a Chevelle. Hey, officer, whatever your name is. And it did that way for quite a while. Hopefully we can get back to that. But one of the positive things about it is it gives this energy that these young people have in these street takeovers and street racing and whatnot. That energy it always works into a position of employment that's very positive, because the amount of information that you have to learn behind you in this car, you could portray that on your job and be much more successful in life. So that is something that we don't have right now. I mean, because if it wasn't for street racing, there would have been no Randy Thomas trucking.
But Randy, I mean, what you're telling me is the cops were not out there harassing people, taking down license plate numbers, following them after they left the track. That stuff wasn't happening.
No, it's not. No, and that's one of the things we liked about Terminal Island is at the end of the freeways, and so once you're down there, you can't run off and hide. Because it is an island. You're on an island surrounded by water.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're following up. I look forward to hearing how these negotiations go, and if there is, once again, a designated spot for the folks that want to go really fast in their cars and on their mini bikes in Los Angeles. I'm sure I have a feeling this is not unique to LA, but certainly it is huge around here. We got news, traffic, and sports right now. Thank you, Randy. Taking your phone calls, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DePrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The White House is slamming Speaker McCarthy's decision to open up a formal impeachment inquiry into President Biden. In a social media post yesterday, White House spokesman Ian Sam said House Republicans have been investigating the president for 9 months and have yet to turn up evidence of wrongdoing. McCarthy announced the impeachment inquiry Tuesday. New York City African-American Mayor Eric Adams has some choice words for the governor of Texas, calling him a madman for his illegal immigrant busing plan. That's not fazing Governor Abbott.
Well, the mayor may have made it to be mayor of New York, but he could not last a week in Texas.
He says Mayor Adams and other Democratic leaders are the madmen for their sanctuary city policies that have attracted a record number of illegal immigrants to our borders. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Is this the Takeover? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
I'm a bad man. Another story is developing about racial discrimination in the NFL, and this time there are two NFL owners who might have shown their true feelings with comments to the media. Jim Trotter, a longtime and highly respected NFL reporter, is suing the NFL for racial discrimination and failure to respond to allegations of insensitive comments allegedly made by Buffalo Bills owner Terry Pegula and Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. In 2020, Pegula allegedly told a reporter, and I quote, "If black players don't like it here, they should go back to Africa and see how bad it is." Trotter was interviewing Jones in 2020 with another reporter when Jones allegedly told them, quote, "If blacks feel some kind of way, they should buy their own team and hire who they want to hire." Much more to come on this story. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, Tavis Smiley here. I know you've been hearing the promo over and over again about our event this Saturday, about contracts and how you can get in the contract pipeline. Just want to remind you, it is this Saturday. Space is limited. Here's Dion Rambo to tell you more about what you can expect this Saturday.
Yo, what's up? This is Rambo, and again, you know the three words, contracts. This Saturday, there's one place you have to go right now, KBLA1580.com. If you want to see us talk about contracts, talk about grants, you got Caltrans who made all this possible. I'm super excited. You guys all know Rambo's been in the community fighting for you. Now, we got Tavis fighting alongside. This is huge. KBLA1580.com this Saturday. See you guys.
You are now in Big Tobacco's fantasy land. Welcome. It's a healthier world where they want you to believe that vaping makes quitting cigarettes a breeze. Never mind the evidence that vaping leads to using both. And if you're younger, even better, teens who vape are 3 times likelier to use cigarettes. In Big Tobacco's fantasy land, the deadliest industry is your friend.
Big Tobacco's idea of smoke-free is a dangerous fantasy for us all. See reality at undo.org.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure for max strength daytime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. DayQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure. The daytime, non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
They have caught him. For those of you tracking Danilo Cavalcante, the convicted murderer who escaped from prison in Pennsylvania. The governor just announced that, Josh Shapiro just announced that they have apprehended him just after 8 o'clock this morning. A tactical team has captured him. I know a lot of folks were tracking him on the run. And, you know, I know you've been hearing our news report about the impeachment of President Biden, that Speaker McCarthy is now moving forward with this impeachment under pressure from the so-called Freedom Caucus. So does this mean from now on every president is going to be impeached? Is that the new thing? Maybe not twice, but they're all going to be impeached because they'll just do it even with no evidence, no case, no reason other than that they want to be able to say during the 2024 election that Biden was also impeached. Is that it? I'm not sure, but we could be entering a new era where impeachment is just like a thing because it's purely based on partisan politics rather than having to commit actual crimes. I mean, and the fact is, even if Hunter Biden did all the things they're looking for that they've yet to find, Hunter Biden is not president. Joe Biden is president. No one voted for Hunter Biden. I always say it. Every family's got their crackhead, their alcoholic, their person who's struggling with substance abuse, mental health, and life skills issues. For the Bidens, it's clearly Hunter. Does that mean we should impeach the president? Accordingly, that is what Republicans think. Welcome to the circus. And it turns out, according to The Hill, that Donald Trump is the ringmaster. I mean, we kind of knew that, but not directly with the impeachment. Apparently, he's been meeting privately with various Republican members of the House Freedom Caucus to talk about impeaching Biden. And I'm sure that also includes meetings with McCarthy or some kind of pressure, direct pressure from the former president to impeach the current president. Astounding. Let's go to Howard calling us also from Watts. What's up?
Hey, how you doing? I kind of know the street they were doing that drag racing on. I think it was Greenleaf. It's a wide open street, about like at least a 2-mile stretch. There's not a whole lot of traffic on. But I was going to take this to a different level. But first I'd like to comment, I remember back in, I think, the 70s, they had the Terminal Island Raceway, and in some kind of way they took it away from the people and started putting all those shipping containers there, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm glad they're doing that again, put it back up.
I mean, I hope they will. It's shipping to containers. I think there's like power company stuff there. Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to take this to a different level. We have a different car culture here in Los Angeles called lowriders.
Yeah.
And the problem with lowriders, they like to congregate different parts and stuff like that. Now, what I hate, I wish you had who's the supervisor for this district, the 2nd district. I want to talk to her. Why they have to close Ted Watkins? Okay, why they got to close Ted Watkins Park on Sundays? They put the chance there. Nobody can't go to the parking lot under the guise that lowriders taking over and all this. Lowriders are some of the coolest people in the world. You don't want to go around there racing up and down the streets, acting a fool with the lowriders cars. They put $10,000-$20,000 in their car. You know, they're cool people. You know, I have no problems with them. You know, I'm going down there a couple of Sundays and talk to them and trip with them and stuff like that. And they need they want to gear to the racing team because that's dangerous, but they need some kind of area where the lowriders can go to and show off their cars every weekend. I think that's an injustice, and I think that's not right when they close off the park on the weekends, and we need our park. You know, they be talking about they be doing this and that. They do that anyway. Ain't no big thing. Remember, they were right back here on the Mer Park Boulevard. They were congregating there. Remember that? But back in your studio back in the day.
Right, and then they put up all the signs, no cruising, no stopping. Yep.
You know, you remember that? And it was cool. Nobody bothered nobody. I don't remember nobody getting shot. No kind of violence or anything like that. It was like a nice little cool atmosphere. So they got to cater to them people, too, because I think it's injustice. I'm paying taxes. I love my park. I can't go down there and to the park. You know, and going to the parking lot because they got it blocked off. They don't want nobody, lowriders there. They're thinking they're going to be doing all this and that. Then they chase them over there from the Mer Park, and they start going there parking lot over there on Slauson and Western where the Home Depot is and all that. They chase them from over there. Then at one time they were going over there on the side where the Blue Line runs by Markham Junior High School. They chase them from over there. They can't go nowhere. And they're some of the coolest people in the world. You don't go around acting stupid with their cars because you will have a problem. So I think they got to adjust that issue as well because I think that's injustice that they're going to do the street races. Okay, they're dangerous. They're doing that's not right because you hear it all the time. But they got to cater to other people as well.
Yeah, well, the lowrider culture, you know, is another part of our American history. It is Americana, right? Cities, I know it's bigger on the West Coast, but they have it on the East Coast too, and all across the country, these car clubs. You're right. Folks take great pride. A lot of folks will work 2 jobs just so they have extra money to invest in their cars, which are actually works of art. It's in the Latino community. It is in the African American community and beyond. And I don't know the story of why that park is closed and what it has to do with the lowriders, but certainly giving people fewer places to congregate that aren't the middle of the street rather than more is never going to be, I think, the right answer. I think people need more places to congregate, more safe designated spots where they can show off their cars or race their cars or hang out and congregate, just dispersing people and, hoping that the culture dies and the social urges of human beings go away is really not a wise strategy.
No, it's not. It kind of frustrates me because I like to go. I go out there and I'll chop it up with them for a minute. You can take your kids out there, look at the cars, and talk to the people about their cars and how they have them fixed up real nice. And it's a cross-cultural thing. You have a lot of blacks and Latinos out there. That's gonna cause. So they be out there. Everybody's out there, doing their little thing, and it's real. And it's a peaceful atmosphere. It's like a picnic type of thing.
Yep.
People barbecuing, playing their music and stuff. So
Got it.
It's a nice atmosphere.
It's funny. I think I told the story on the show when early in my radio career here in LA, we decided to broadcast. I got this inspiration to broadcast from Crenshaw, and do a show about lowriders and car clubs. And we literally had hundreds of cars and people show up on Crenshaw. We were doing it in a parking lot that's no longer there. It was an amazing, festive, powerful broadcast. And then I got in trouble afterwards for convening the lowriders with law enforcement and some people in the community who didn't appreciate all the cars rolling up. But folks got to go somewhere. They fix up their cars for a reason. There is music. There's hanging out. Yeah, and, there is a culture of like a festival fun culture. You see the car shows, and those are usually out in big fields somewhere. So that's one aspect, the car shows, which include all kinds of other stuff. But I think taking that kind of an approach with racing and even just the casual social hanging out of motorcycle clubs, car clubs, and the mini bikes, you can't put your head in the sand and hope it's going to go away. And you can't just incarcerate or suppress your way out of it. This is an expression that people want to do, that they're spending a lot of money on doing. It is a lifestyle, and it is something that is a hobby, right? If we have the right means and safe spaces for folks to do these things, then it's not a problem. It doesn't have to be criminalized. It doesn't have to be an issue, and innocent bystanders don't have to get hurt. Unnecessary crashes don't have to happen. Street congestion and clogging when folks take over a space doesn't have to happen. So I think we need to maybe consider a different approach where we are saying, folks are going to do this. How do we make it safe? How do we work with these folks? Folks are going to do this. There are some things people are just going to do. And I think this kind of car culture, car, bike, motor culture, it's until we run out of fossil fuels. Even then, they'll probably have electric car lowriders. I say, find a way to make it work for everyone. We have the capacity to do that. Love to hear from you. Always 800-920-1580. You are listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, Hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, in downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
The City of Los Angeles Emergency Renters Assistance Program will start accepting applications at 8 a.m. on September 19th. The program will provide up to 6 months of rent subsidy to low-income residential renters who are at risk of homelessness due to unpaid rent as a result of COVID-19 or other financial hardships. Learn more at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event, or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Right now, I always pick up a bunch of things to talk to you about, and then we swerve, and I'm okay with that when you call me. That's why we call it Freestyle Phones, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Something else might come up, but there's a few things we do not want to miss, at least highlighting for you, right? So 5 former Memphis police officers have now been indicted on federal charges for killing Tyree Nichols, for the death of Tyree Nichols. And once again, it seems that our justice system has an easier time holding officers accountable if they happen to be black. All 5 of these officers are black. Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, Emmett Martin III, Desmond Mills, and Justin Smith. They're facing federal civil rights charges for beating up Tyree Nichols, and they beat him to death. It's so rare that officers are held legally, criminally accountable. It does seem to be more common when those officers are black. You might remember Tyree Nichols. He was just 29 years old. This was January of this year. It was a police stop, which is why a lot of us feel we should take cops out of stops. They said he was driving recklessly, and they said he was taken into custody after 2 confrontations with officers, but they beat him within an inch of his life. All 5 of them were fired. They were part of this elite Scorpion unit, and now they are facing federal charges. Let's go to Janine calling us from L.A. Good morning, Janine.
Hi. I just turned your station on a few minutes ago, and I came in on the middle of that conversation about the cars.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm sorry I missed some of the context. All I can tell you is just my own experiences, my discomfort at the idea of people. I get that they want to show off their cars. I understand that. But I, as a member of the public, and since these public spaces belong to all of us, do I not have the right to feel that I am safe somewhere and not having to be cocooned in my house for 24 hours without that feeling of safety. People have been killed. Every other week you hear of a pedestrian being killed. Don't pretend that it doesn't exist. I was listening to the young man, and my mind was on fire. And it's about safety. You don't have an absolute right just to take over whatever empty available space is there. You don't have the right to take over the parking lot of the Home Depot or of the Taco Bell or of the Jack in the Box. There is not an absolute right. I know people want to be their authentic selves, but we can't all be our authentic selves because we have to adhere to a certain number of just social mores. I'm 66 years old. I have no recollection of my father ever taking me down to the corner to see car carnival. I don't. I just really don't. I think that lowriders and that culture, it's theirs. I'm just what I want.
Well, now, okay, so but let's be clear,
because
Janine, hold on, I'll let you finish, but just hold on a second, because you said you missed context. So this started out when Randy from Watts called, talking about how he was working on and has met with someone at the county, some folks from the county supervisor's office, to bring back safe racing at Terminal Island in order to help get people off of the streets, off of parking lots and freeways, by providing a legal and safe spot for folks to do it. But just to be clear, we're talking about that street racing now, the lowrider culture. Most of those folks are not racing, they're cruising, but also need a place, a way to do that. And then we were also talking about the mini bikes, which I'm sure you've heard, because even in the middle of the night we hear the mini bikes. I do in my South LA community, racing all around. So what we're talking about is providing appropriate venues for these folks so they don't endanger others.
Because I'm thinking they would do what the white boys do. They all get together, they form clubs, they pay dues, they buy spaces, and then they turn those spaces into, I don't know.
They have money.
And they have money. Hey, but you know what?
But there's no reason
that $20,000 to fix up your car.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. That's
okay?
fair, but you're not going to buy no island for $20,000 or a racetrack.
Buy an island, of course not.
No, but what I'm saying is that I think that the city and county could help provide those spaces. What I'm saying, because it's more realistic than just incarcerating away the problem, because people get back out and they get back to racing, and you can't arrest everybody. And this is a problem, Janine, all across the country. Everybody, you're right. You have a right to feel safe. I have a right to feel safe. Not just feel safe, to be safe. So how do we satisfy what you need, Janine, and what I need, and what, the way that folks, like you say, want to be their authentic selves? I want to give you the last word when we come forward, KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications, conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
When my family does Walt Disney World Resort, we do it big.
Bippity boppity big, like Cinderella Castle.
Uh-huh, big, like those juicy turkey legs from Gaston's Tavern.
It doesn't get any bigger than the Tam Tam Drummers. Get it, Grandma?
Yeah, and big like Goofy's kicks. Oh, yeah?
Yep.
It's your world, so do it big at Walt Disney World Resort.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh, man, Janine, I wanted to give you the last word. Well, if you feel like calling me back, you can, 800-920-1580, although we're pivoting for our daily deep dive today, talking about the Cleopatra controversy, anti-blackness in the historical context with attorney LeGrand Clegg. But we've got Barbara on the phone. She wanted to weigh in. Hi, Barbara from LA. It's all about you right now.
Yes, good morning. I am so glad. I'm Barbara.
I am so glad that we're discussing this because I was a victim on Western and El Segundo 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I got caught up in this. This is no laughing matter. And and my brother had dementia, and we were taking the bus. I had never taken the bus before. And I think I'm so glad that the city is addressing this because whether the people like it or not, what happened, we were changing buses, and the bus drivers wouldn't even come down the street. So therefore, we had to walk another block, another hour. And I know the young man I think his idea is great, but I was wondering that night, where is the city? Where is the police? And sure enough, I have been monitoring, and people have been killed standing on the sidewalk.
Absolutely, they have.
And this
Go ahead,
city
Barbara.
really needs to address.
Barbara,
I'm a taxpayer, and I was just devastated.
Yes, it sounds terrible, but Barbara, don't go away yet. I'm trying to figure out exactly what happened to you. So you were taking the bus with your brother, and a street takeover erupts, and then the bus won't. The connecting bus won't go anywhere, so you have to walk to the bus. And then what happened? Did you get out? Were you able to escape? What happened, Barbara?
We got off the bus
Mm-hmm.
to exchange from El Segundo to Western. This was 2 years ago.
Right.
And we got off the bus trying to make connections, and all of a sudden they had this fog, and all these cars started making turns.
Wow.
And the bus would not come down the road. And this happened 2 years ago.
And so then you had to walk to the bus? Is that what you're saying? Or you missed it and you had to walk to where you were going?
We had to stand on the bus stop because we had no idea what was going on. And I was wondering, well, where's the police? And they were going around in circles. They had fog, and it was just terrible. And at that time, we had to go 2 or 3 blocks, and this was 7 o'clock at night. We had to go 2 or 3 blocks to try to get another bus, and I'm not a bus rider, so I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was frightened, and so this is not a laughing matter, and I'm glad that the man is trying to address it, but I'm appalled by the city not taking initiative to curtail this, because I have been listening, and people have been killed.
No, I mean
on the sidewalk.
It's not just L.A. by the way. This Lake County, a 60-year-old man was killed in Beach Park. This is happening all across the country, and it's particularly a problem in Southern California, as you point out. So what are we doing about it? I think it's the city. I also think it's the county, Barbara, because this happens in many unincorporated parts of L.A., right? And I think the city and county think they are doing something about it by making these mass arrests. They arrested 30 people at once. Another incident, they arrested 65 people. But they're not going to keep those people in jail forever. They're not going to impound every car. So I think what we were saying is not that your concerns aren't true or that this isn't dangerous, but that the city and county should look to provide a legal and safe outlet for this energy so that people like you and me do not have to be terrified and endangered just going about our regular everyday business. Looking forward to the conversation with attorney LeGrand Clegg. The issue, the Cleopatra controversy after news, traffic, and sports on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The White House is slamming Speaker McCarthy's decision to open up a formal impeachment inquiry into that man for his illegal immigrant busing plan. That's not fazing Governor Abbott.
Well, the mayor may have made it to be mayor of New York.